Well folks, it's Friday again, so I'm back with another Payday 3 news video, except today, it's not really focused on Devblog 5, and the reason for that is that it says loads of stuff we already know. And actually, what the Devblog has done today is it's coincided with the release of a new Payday 3 dev update from Elizabeth. I'm also not going to be talking in detail very much about this, for the exact same reason. It's talking about stuff we've already heard. What I want to make this video for, and it's the main reason I'm doing it and why it's going to be as short as I'm hoping this video will be, is that the presence of the dev update now being out and public means that it is very, very likely the next update for Payday 3 is dropping next week. That's usually the time frame. There's only about a week in between these videos and the updates dropping. Now, it's possible it may creep into the week after because we are on Friday when this comes out. So if they're going by their normal timelines, if it's a bit longer than a week, it could be first week of April. Personally, wouldn't surprise me. But I'd like to think that they've released this video because they're in good stead to hopefully drop it next week. I think it would suck if it was any longer. So that's the main takeaway. I'm going to do a very quick recap of what's in the update for those of you who aren't up to speed. I'm not going to go into tons of detail. There are plenty of videos on the channel you can go back and watch if you want to see more detail on fortitude, adaptive armor, adrenaline, all that stuff. But if you're here and you're missing anything or you want to know exactly what's in the update just with the headers, I'm going to go through that in the blog post now. And I'm also sliding this in here very briefly because I think people in this audience will be very interested. I'm playing Helldivers 2 tonight for the very first time over on my Twitch at 7 PM UK time. That is GMT. At the time this video goes up, it's probably going to hopefully be around 4 PM. You can always check up online and convert time zones, but probably about 3 hours from when this video goes up. But you can join my Discord, discord.gg/redarcherlive, and you'll get a ping as soon as I go live. So, in this update that's supposedly coming out hopefully next week, we have the adaptive armor, the new armor that heals back over time. We have the medic bag improvement, where when you heal, you gain adrenaline, which is overheal if you have max health. We also have the new fortitude skill line, which is based around health, medic bags healing, and also makes you stronger if you have less armor. So it's trying to introduce a new health-based meta to combat with the armor one. Hopefully it will work just as well in execution as it is sounding in theory. There's also the skill point increase, so you'll now have 28 skill points at level 100 rather than 21, so that change is being added in this update. And on top of that, there are some skill and weapon changes. So as you can see, a lot of these are things I've already talked about, so feel free to pause if you want to see anything specific here, but I've talked about all these key things in previous streams. There might be one or two that I've missed out, but you can see them if you pause the video here. I'll also link the dev blog post in the description so you can read it in full in your own time without my ass yapping over it if that's what you prefer. The last thing though to talk about is the weapons, and I want to focus on this because it gives us information on the Ziv Commando rework. The R900 sniper will now let you cycle its bolt without going out of scope, meaning repeated fire will feel much better. We knew that already, but I wanted to reinforce that is in this update. On top of that though, the Ziv Commando, we have the following changes to its stats. Increased sprint, enter, and exit speeds in their animations, decreased spread cap and increment across several stances. Also, we got damage increases for up to 15 meters, and you can see the increase for up to 5, up to 10, and then up to 15 meters. And you can see it's really been buffed for that super close quarters combat. Makes sense for this gun. Reduce the damage though from 25 onwards, so if you're going further than 25 meters away, you're going to be dealing less damage, but that's fair. It is quite a small SMG. It does make me wonder if that really should be a secondary weapon rather than a primary, but that plays into a wider argument as to whether Payday 3 should have just pistols in its secondaries. I don't personally think it should, but that's a debate for another day. And on top of that, they've also increased the armor penetration from 0 to 0.5, so it has a tiny bit of armor penetration now as well. And beyond that, there's just 2 fixes. In Turbid Station, they fixed an issue where players were blocked from crouch walking under some of the train cars, so that was a bug, not intentional. Glad to hear, because I had seen it posted recently that people weren't able to go under the train cars anymore. They didn't do it on purpose, thankfully. I did wonder if that was just a really stupid choice. Thankfully, it is just a bug. And weapon fix, they fixed an issue where the primary weapon would sometimes be changed to the weapon in the first slot. That means the visual issue on the Mamba grenade launcher has not been fixed, which sucks. That should have been fixed in this update. What are you going to do, though? Hopefully it gets fixed in the next patch. But ladies and gentlemen, that's everything. I will give you an update as soon as I know when the next update is dropping. As I said, I think it's going to be next week. That's where I put my money if I was a betting man. I will link the dev update video and the blog post in the description. Feel free to go and check both of them out if you like. But I'm going to sign off and keep this simple. So hopefully I'll have something much cooler to share with you all next week. But either way, thank you all for watching. See you all soon in the Payday 3 news video. Stay safe. Take care.